All right, Jeremiah chapter 40. So last chapter we were introduced to a person by the name of Gedaliah, who is made the governor of Jerusalem, the area, whatever's left. Basically, Jerusalem's destroyed. The first temple period has ended. We're now into the intermediary period between the first temple period and the second temple period. This is the 70 years of exile that was prophesied by Jeremiah. We're at the beginning of that. Let's learn more about Gedaliah and his role in this part of the story. So verses 1 through 6 acts as a kind of introduction to the story about Gedaliah, who is here introduced as governor of the land of Judah. It would appear that there was a staging area at Ramah, the modern Ram, some 5 miles north of Jerusalem. From here, the deportees would set off for Babylonia. Those are the wealthy, the professional class of everybody in Judah. They were now taken to be prisoners. And they left the poor, the people who owned nothing, were left in Jerusalem. Jeremiah appeared with a group of other captives, all in fetters. There had been some mistake. Nebuchadrezzar had ordered considerate treatment for Jeremiah, and he had yet been free earlier. But an embarrassing mistake had been made by the soldiers responsible for rounding up the Jews in Jerusalem, and Jeremiah was brought in chains with the rest of the captives to Ramah. Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, promptly set him free. He had come to Jerusalem 1 month after its fall to complete the destruction of the city and to organize the caravan train for the exiles. It was he who had set Jeremiah free on his arrival. Now he had to free him again, basically. So now Gedaliah is going to be the governor of whatever's left in the area. So verse 1, the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord after that Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, had let him go from Ramah, when he had taken him, being bound in chains among all that were carried away captive of Jerusalem and Judah, which were carried away captive unto Babylon. And the captain of the guard took Jeremiah and said unto him, the Lord thy God hath pronounced this evil upon this place. So they capture him, basically. This outsider can see how Israel did not do what their God said. This is so fascinating. The captain of the guard is what we're talking about in verse 2. The captain of the guard was telling the Jews, you didn't follow the commandments of your God. Remember, okay, this isn't a captain of the guard that believes in Jehovah or Yahweh, basically. This isn't a captain of the guard that believes in the Jewish God. This is a captain of the guard who understands deity culture in this time frame, because, like we've mentioned in many of the past chapters, the culture of the time was there was a god over the lands. If you went to that land, you worshiped the god of that land. Yahweh is known as the God of Jerusalem and Israel, that land. The people were disobeying their God. They were following the gods of other lands, not their God, and that's why they were destroyed. So there is a logical framework inside their culture that helped this captain of the guard to realize your God let you down, basically, because you are not following your God. Why didn't you worship the God of the land? So he's not talking about worshiping the true and living God. He's talking about this cultural idea of worshiping the God of the land. Now, if you're a Bible scholar and you could clarify that, I think I messed that whole concept up, please put in the comments what you think to clarify that for everybody else. But I believe that's what he's talking about here. So verse 3, now the Lord hath brought it, and done according as he has said, because ye have sinned against the Lord, and have not obeyed his voice, therefore this thing has come upon you. Now behold, I loose thee this day from the chains which were upon thine hand. So they're letting him go, basically, letting Jeremiah go, but realizing you guys were disobedient to your God. So maybe Babylon had been found some of the books and been reading some of the prophecies of Jeremiah. Could be some of those scrolls that he wrote, that Baruch wrote for him. Could be the other ancient prophets' writings, Isaiah and others that they were reading. And they're going, well, you didn't follow your God, and so your God let you be destroyed. So now he's saying, I'm going to let you go. If it seem good unto thee to come with me to Babylon, come, and I will look well unto thee. But if it seem ill to thee to come with me to Babylon, forbear. Behold, all the land is before thee, whither it seemeth good and convenient for thee to go, thither go. So basically, you're free to go. If you want to come to Babylon, we'll take care of you. If you don't, okay. You can go where you want, basically. You're a free man. Verse 5, now while he was not yet gone back, he said, go back also to Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, whom the king of Babylon hath made governor over the cities of Judah, and dwell with him among the people, or go wheresoever it seemeth convenient unto thee to go. So the captain of the guard gave him victuals and a reward, and let him go. Now the Hebrew text is interesting. At the beginning of this verse, it's a little difficult, and it appears to be saying, and he did not yet reply. So when he says, while he was not yet gone back, so Jeremiah hadn't answered the guard yet. And so then the guard says, well, you know what? Why don't you go back with Gedaliah and help them out, basically. So it reads, Jeremiah had not yet answered when Nebuzaradan went on, go back and help them out. So the Babylonians turned to the descendant of an old noble family who feature often in the book of Jeremiah. That's Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan. So Shaphan, who's his grandfather, was Josiah's secretary. That King Josiah was the righteous king, last righteous king that they had. He put those reforms in place. And he carried the newly found scroll to the king. So Gedaliah's grandfather was there when the scriptures were found in Josiah's time. He helped transport them to the king, where the king read them and then made his reforms on the people from. One son, Ahikam, was part of the delegation. Josiah sent unto the prophetess Huldah. If you remember in 2 Kings 22, he talks about that as well. So that was Ahikam, Shaphan's son, was a part of that group. Now, Ahikam offered protection to Jeremiah after he had preached the temple sermon. It was Ahikam's son Gedaliah who was the new governor of the Babylonian province of Judah. He may have had a good deal of administrative experience in Zedekiah's cabinet. A seal impression found at Lachish dating to the beginning of the 6th century BC bears the name belonging to Gedaliah, over the house. The latter expression was used of the chief minister of the king. So Gedaliah was a part of the Zedekiah's administration, and he was left, instead of taking to Babylon, he was left to be the governor of the land, basically. Governor of a destroyed land, basically. Now, they gave Jeremiah victuals and rewards. So these are probably the temple vases. This is what they would hold the oil and other things at the temple. And so they gave them back to Jeremiah so he could take them back to Jerusalem. Now, verse 6, then went Jeremiah unto Gedaliah the son of Ahikam to Mizpah, and dwelt with him among the people that were left in the land. So that's where he decided, I'm going to go back. So Gedaliah's administration was not set up in Jerusalem, which at this stage was uninhabitable, but in Mizpah, which is probably to be identified with the modern Tel and Nazbah, some 8 miles north of Jerusalem. The town had been a political and religious center over the centuries. No signs of the destruction of Mizpah at this period have been revealed by excavation, in sharp contrast to Jerusalem and the cities of Judah. So that's Thompson, his book of Jeremiah. So Mizpah was still a city that was decent. It wasn't burned to the ground, it wasn't destroyed. So Gedaliah is now kind of ruling as governor out of Mizpah when they're trying to figure out what to do with what's left of Jerusalem, basically. Now, verse 7, when all the captains of the forces which were in the fields, even they and their men, heard that the king of Babylon had made Gedaliah the son of Ahikam governor in the land, and had committed unto him men and women and children, and of the poor of the land, of them that were not carried away captive to Babylon. Now, this means no more king. This is a vassal ruler under the king of Babylon. So Jerusalem and the area has lost its autonomy. It's now a state of Babylon, basically. It's all under Babylon control. So these are some of the people who are out in the fields, out in the other areas. In verse 8, then they came to Gedaliah to Mizpah, even Ishmael the son of Nethaniah, and Johanan and Jonathan the sons of Kareah, and Sariah the son of Tanhumeth, and the sons of Ephi the Nekophathite, and Jezaniah the son of Mahakite, they and their men. So these, if you remember, which chapter was it? 36, maybe? that we read about, 37 maybe, where we read about the people were so afraid of Babylon as they came through that there were men, soldiers, running and hiding in the caves in the mountains near Jerusalem. That's probably these guys. They went and fled to live, and when they heard, oh, Babylon is moving out of here, going back to Babylon, they're all going back. Gedaliah is the new governor. We have some kind of establishment happening here. They started coming back into the area. And so that's most likely where they were. Many of these people were probably dealing with guerrilla warfare, going against Babylonian troops. They knew they couldn't just full on fight Babylon. But what they'd do is do like night raids against Babylonian camps. They would sneak in, kill a bunch of Babylonians, and flee. They would try to do things that they could to hurt Babylon, but make sure they didn't get killed in the process, because they couldn't do a straight-on fight. There's no way. They just were way outnumbered. So that's what's happening here. So verse 9, and Gedaliah the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, swear unto them and to their men, saying, fear not to serve the Chaldeans, dwell in the land and serve the king of Babylon, and it shall be well with you. As for me, behold, I will dwell at Mizpah to serve the Chaldeans, which will come unto us. But ye gather ye wine and summer fruits and oil, and put them in your vessels, and dwell in your cities that ye have taken. So he's telling them, basically, go back, go home, deal with the other cities, the outskirt areas where you were, collect what you can to survive, basically. We're gonna, let's just play nice with our Babylonian overlords, basically. So Gedaliah is basically trying to calm the fighters down, tell them basically the war is over, you don't need to worry about it, let's be at peace. Let's stop the guerrilla warfare stuff, be at peace, let Babylon's army go back, we'll be all right. I'm going to be the governor, I'll be the liaison between you and Babylon, so just live in the land and you'll be okay. Now, what's interesting about this, and is it talks about in verse 10, this idea of them going back to normal. There is no literary evidence that the small territory was ever colonized by the Chaldeans the way Israel was after the Assyrian conquest in 721 BC. The towns referred to here are presumably those which had been destroyed in the Babylonian campaign but were subsequently occupied by the bands of troops that had escaped the Babylonian army. So again, he's just saying, go find what you can. Most of the people have been either killed or taken in exile. So there's no more property rights. Go claim what you want. Gather what you can. Let's try to band together and survive, basically, till we can get crops planted, get more animals and things gathered together, and try to make a living out of this. Verse 11, likewise, when all the Jews that were in Moab and among the Ammonites and in Edom and that were in all the countries heard that the king of Babylon had left a remnant of Judah, that he had set over them Gedaliah the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, even all the Jews returned out of all places whither they were driven, and came to the land of Judah, to Gedaliah, unto Mizpah, and gathered wine and summer fruits very much. So these are the people that fled before Babylon came in. They went to Moab, they went to the Ammonites, they were in Edom, and we're going to learn more about these other places here pretty soon of what happened to them. But they fled to foreign countries. They're like, I'm not getting in this fight. I'm out of here. They moved before the fight happened. Once they heard, so it's been a month or two after the siege of Jerusalem, they've now heard there's a Jewish governor. There's a remnant there. There's still some people there. They weren't completely, totally wiped out. And there's now a governor in the land. They're starting to migrate back, basically, to see what's going on and gather what they can from what's been destroyed so they can survive. So that's what's happening basically there. Verse 13, moreover, Johanan the son of Kareah, I guess, and all the captains of the forces that were in the fields came to Gedaliah to Mizpah, and said unto him, dost thou certainly know that Baalis, the king of the Ammonites, has sent Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, to slay thee? But Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, believed them not. So now we have drama. This person, Johanan, the son of Kareah, He's one of the captains of the forces, and now he's coming to basically let Gedaliah know, hey, there's some people who don't like you and want you as governor out of the land. They're trying to execute you, and Gedaliah wouldn't believe him, basically. Thompson had something to say about this in his book. He says, Baalas, king of Ammon, had persuaded the royal prince Ishmay to take Gedaliah's life. It is not clear what the motives of Baalas were. He may have wished to carry out the plot of 594 BC, to overthrow or simply harass the Babylonians. It would appear from Ezekiel 21 that when Nebuchadrezzar planned the campaign in the west in 587 BC, there was as much reason to attack Ammon as to attack Judah, since probably both had offended him. Now, Ammon is the Ammonites group. It's a different group of people that were neighboring to Judah. We've talked about them quite a bit in the past. They don't like Judah, but they also don't like Babylon either. So they're kind of stuck. And so now they're looking at this opportunity to exploit the weakness of Judah and get Gedaliah out of the way. So it is possible that Zedekiah was trying to flee to Ammon when he was captured after the fall of Jerusalem. Nor is it clear why Ishmael would have allowed himself to be implicated in the plot. Being a member of the royal house, he may have planned to seize power in Judah. But this seems unlikely since he fled to Ammon once the dastardly deed was done. So perhaps he too was motivated only by a desire to harass the Babylonians. He probably regarded Gedaliah as a collaborator. So there's a chance that they're seeing Gedaliah not as a remnant of Judah, but as a puppet appointed by Babylon. He is there serving the Babylonians. So we're going to say he's no longer part of the family. Let's kill him. Let's get him out of the way. So there's an assassination attempt on the governor, basically. So we don't know if Gedaliah, it says in here that they told him, but he's not willing to believe this, that this is really true. So he seems to have been of a magnanimous disposition, unable to believe evil of one of whom he knew personally in the days when he was a state official and Ishmael was a royal prince. So realize, just hold on for a second here, Ishmael is one of the princes. He and Gedaliah were in the administration of Zedekiah. They worked together. They knew who each other was. Now Ishmael fled to Ammon. Ammon has said, the king of Ammon said, hey, go kill Gedaliah, and then we'll make sport of this, and it'll be advantageous for us. So he tries to, and Gedaliah's like, Ishmael, we served together. We worked together. Why would he be wanting to kill me? I don't understand that. So Gedaliah either didn't think about it all the way or wasn't willing to admit that this person he probably thought was a friend of his at one point, a colleague, is now trying to assassinate him. So he could have thought maybe they're trying to tell me that to throw me off the case and somebody else is going to come in. Maybe there's a double cross here and I don't know. There could be some situations with this. So, verse 15, then Johanan, the son of Kareah, spake to Gedaliah in Mizpah secretly, saying, let me go, I pray thee, and I will slay Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, and no man shall know it. Wherefore should he slay thee, that all the Jews which are gathered unto thee should be scattered, and the remnant of Judah perish? So Johanan is worried that the assassination of the governor will cause the people to no longer be a nation, thus lose their identity. If the governor goes, who's going to be there to rule? Not to mention, if it pisses off Babylon, Babylon might come down and just go, you know what, I'm not dealing with you people anymore, just kill all of them and wipe them out. That could be a possibility too. So there's a challenge going on here with this, that Johanan sees Gedaliah's assassination as a big problem for them. Verse 16, but Gedaliah the son of Ahikam said unto Johanan the son of Kareah, thou shalt not do this thing, for thou speakest falsely of Ishmael. So Gedaliah could not accept the fact that others were less sincere than he was in his desire to reestablish a stable Judah. His sheer, transparent magnanimity made him incapable of a critical assessment of people or situations. This mistake, which many noblemen in Israel and elsewhere both before and since have made, cost him his life. Now, we don't see that in this chapter. That'll be in the next chapter. So let's jump over there to continue this story forward.